Hi, I'm Jim Denison, non-union, non-affiliated. Through the first year, I kept thinking, Luke will wake up. He'll come home. In the second year, I stopped hoping for him to come home at all and just hoped to hear some news about him. I would ask travelers, for stories about him, but no one seemed to know where he was anymore. They thought maybe he had moved away. Part of me had wondered whether he had really found that freedom that he was looking for. Part of me wondered if he had grown up enough to maybe understand that freedom couldn't be bought with money. And honestly, part of me thought he might be dead. So, 5 years later, it was still tearing me up inside. One day a man came to see me. He owned a large farm several towns over. We had seen each other in the market and knew each other well enough to say hello. But he stood on my porch with his hat in his hand, looking kind of sheepish. And I just didn't know what would bring him all this way to see me. "I know you've been looking for your boy," he said. "I found him." And then he began to tell me a story. It was a story that just turned my insides out. He said that Luke had come to him, and he was thin and starving. And he was looking for work. And the only work that this man had was shoveling manure on his farm and feeding his pigs. And he told how some of the workers had seen my son, because he was hungry, eating what the pigs were eating. I looked away so the stranger wouldn't see me, see the tears running down my face. He knows he can come home anytime. Apparently, though, he would rather live with the pigs than live with me. The man slowly slipped off my porch and went on his way. I just sat there and I cried. He'd rather live with the pigs than with me. Well, work continued as it always does. And over the next few weeks, I just couldn't stop staring at the road. All day long, I found my eye wandering back there, hoping to see Luke there. Every night, I would just sit on the porch, and I would gaze in the distance and hoping. And sometimes I would see a figure coming over the horizon and stand up, only to have it turn out to be someone else. And then one day, 6 years later, after Luke had left, I saw a figure coming up the road. I stood up, almost convinced myself that it was someone else when I saw the way he walked. I knew it was my son. And I took off in this most undignified run toward him at a pace that surprised several of the hired hands. And just as I reached him, he started some speech that he had been rehearsing with each step he had taken. Something about being so sorry, not worthy to be called my son anymore, and working for me as a hired hand. But he was interrupted, and as I ran at him at full speed, my arms wide open, I said, "Boy, hush, of course you're still my son. Hey everyone, come, Luke is home. Fire up the grill, bring him some clothes, call the neighbors, we're going to have a party. Luke has come home. Luke has come to freedom."